Chapter 34. By the time we docked, Grace had joined us too. She still had the scarf around her head and she wasn't talking, but she was drinking. We were all drinking. We were all drinking when Wilbur came down the stairs. He stood there looking at us. "I'll be right back," he said. That was in the afternoon. We waited and we drank. The girls started arguing about how they should handle Wilbur. I climbed into one of the bunks and went to sleep. When I awakened, it was evening going into night and it was cold. "Where's Wilbur?" I asked. "He's not coming back," said Jerry. "He's mad." "He'll be back," said Laura. "Grace is here." "I don't give a damn if he never comes back," said Grace. "We got enough food and drink here to supply the whole Egyptian army for a month." So there I was in the biggest yacht in the harbor with 3 women. But it was very cold. It was the chill off the water. I got out of the bunk, got a drink, and crawled back into the bunk. "Jesus, it's cold," said Jerry. "Let me get in there and warm up." She kicked off her shoes and climbed into the bunk with me. Laura and Grace were drunk and arguing about something. Jerry was small and round, very round, a snug type. She pushed against me. "Jesus, it's cold. Put your arms around me." "Laura," I said. "Fuck Laura. I mean, she might get mad." "She won't get mad. We're friends. Look." Jerry sat up in the bunk. Laura. "Yes?" "Look, I'm trying to get warm, okay?" "Okay," said Laura. Jerry snuggled back down under the covers. "See? She said it's okay." "All right," I said. I put my hand on her ass and kissed her. "Just don't go too far," said Laura. "He's just holding me," said Jerry. I got my hand up under her dress and began working her panties down. It was difficult. By the time she kicked them off, I was more than ready. Her tongue shot in and out of my mouth. We tried to look nonchalant while we did it sideways. I slipped out several times, but Jerry put it back in. "Don't go too far," Laura said again. It slipped out and Jerry grabbed it and squeezed. "She's just holding me," I told Laura. Jerry giggled and put it back in. It stayed there. I got hotter and hotter. "You bitch," I whispered. "I love you." Then I came. Jerry got out of the bunk and went to the bathroom. Grace was making us roast beef sandwiches. I climbed out of the bunk and we had roast beef sandwiches, potato salad, sliced tomatoes, coffee, and apple pie. We were all hungry. "I sure got warmed up," said Jerry. "Henry's one good heating pad." "I'm plenty cold," said Grace. "I think I'll try some of that heating pad. Do you mind, Laura?" "I don't mind. Just don't go too far." "How far is too far?" "You know what I mean." After we ate, I got into the bunk and Grace climbed in with me. She was the tallest of the 3. I'd never been in bed with a woman that tall. I kissed her. Her tongue answered. Women, I thought. Women are magic. What marvelous beings they are. I reached up under her dress and pulled at the panties. It was a long way down. "What the hell are you doing?" she whispered. "I'm pulling your panties down." "What for?" "I'm going to fuck you." "I just want to get warm." "I'm going to fuck you." "Laura is my friend. I'm Wilbur's woman. I'm going to fuck you." "What are you doing?" "I'm trying to get it in." "No! God damn it, help me. Get it in yourself. Help me. Get it in by yourself. Laura's my friend." "What's that got to do with it?" "What?" "Forget it. Listen, I'm not ready yet. Here's my finger." "Ow. Easy. Show a lady some respect." All right. Is that better?" "That's better. Higher. There. That's it." "No hanky-panky now," said Laura. "No, I'm just warming her up." "I wonder when Wilbur's coming back," said Jerry. "I don't give a damn if he never comes back," I said, getting it into Grace. She moaned. It was good. I went very slow, measuring my strokes. I didn't slip out like with Jerry. "You rotten son of a bitch," said Grace. "You bastard. Laura's my friend." "I'm fucking you," I said. "Feel that thing going in and out of your body? In and out, in and out, in and out, flut, flut, flut." "Don't talk like that. You're making me hot." I'm fucking you, I said. Fuck, fuck, fuckity fuck. We're fucking, we're fucking, we're fucking. Oh, it's so dirty. Oh, it's so filthy. This fucking. God damn you. Stop it. It's getting bigger and bigger. Feel it? Yes, yes. I'm going to come. Jesus Christ, I'm going to come. I came and pulled out. You raped me, you bastard. You raped me, she whispered. I ought to tell Laura. Go ahead. Tell her. Think she'll believe you? Grace climbed out of the bunk and went to the bathroom. I wiped off on the sheet, pulled up my pants, and leaped out of the bunk. You girls know how to play dice? What do you need? Asked Laura. I've got the dice. You girls got any money? It takes dice and money. I'll show you how. Get your money out and put it in front of you. Don't be embarrassed if you don't have much money. I don't have much money. We're all friends, aren't we? Yes, said Jerry. We're all friends. Yes, said Laura. We're all friends. Grace came out of the bathroom. What's that bastard doing now? He's going to show us how to play dice, said Jerry. Shoot dice is the term. I'm going to show you girls how to shoot dice. You are, eh? Asked Grace. Yeah, Grace. Get your tall ass down here and I'll show you how it works. An hour later, I had most of the money when Wilbur Oxnard suddenly came down the steps. That's how Willie found us when he came back, shooting craps and drunk. I don't allow gambling on this ship, he screamed from the bottom of the steps. Grace got off her knees, walked across the room, put her arms around him, and stuck her long tongue into his mouth, then grabbed his private parts. Where's my Willie been? Leaving his Gracie all alone and lonely on this big boat. I sure missed my Willie. Willie came into the room smiling. He sat down at the table, and Grace got a new fifth of whiskey and opened it. Wilbur poured the drinks. He looked at me. I had to go back and straighten out a few notes in the opera. You're still going to do the libretto? The libretto? The words. To be truthful, Wilbur, I haven't been thinking much about it, but if you're really serious, I'll go to work on it. I'm really serious, he said. I'll start tomorrow, I said. Just then, Grace reached under the table and unzipped Wilbur's fly. It was going to be a good night for all of us. Chapter 35. Grace, Laura, and I were sitting at the bar in the Green Smear a few days later when Jerry walked in. Whiskey sour, she told the barkeep. When the drink came, Jerry just stared down at it. Listen, Grace, you weren't there last night. I was there with Wilbur. That's all right, honey. I had a little business to take care of. I like to keep the old boy guessing. Grace, he got down low, real low. Henry wasn't there. Laura wasn't there. He had nobody to talk to. I tried to help him. Laura and I had slept over at an all-night party at the bartender's house. We come home right from there back to the bar. I hadn't started working on the libretto, and Wilbur had been after me. He wanted me to read all the damned books. I'd long ago given up reading anything. He was really drinking. He got on to vodka. He'd started drinking straight vodka. He kept asking where you were, Grace. That could be love, said Grace. Jerry finished her whiskey sour and ordered another. I didn't want him to drink too much, she said. So when he passed out, I took the bottle of vodka, poured out part of it, and filled the rest with water. But he'd already drunk a lot of that 100-proof shit. I kept telling him to come to bed. Oh yeah, said Grace. I kept telling him to come to bed, but he wouldn't. He was so freaked out that I had to drink too. Anyhow, I got sleepy. It got to me, and I left him in that chair with his vodka. You didn't get him to bed? Asked Grace. No. In the morning, I walked in, and he was still sitting in that chair, the vodka at his side. Good morning, Willie, I said. I never saw such beautiful eyes. The window was open, and the sunlight was in them, all the soul. I know, said Grace. Willie has beautiful eyes. He didn't answer me. I couldn't get him to talk. I went to the phone and called his brother, you know, the doctor who takes dope. His brother came up and looked at him and got on the phone, and we sat there until two guys came up and they closed Willie's eyes and stuck a needle into him. Then we sat around and talked for a while until one of the guys looked at his watch and said, "Okay," and they got up and took Willie off the chair and laid him out on a stretcher. Then they carried him out of there, and that was it. "Shit," said Grace. "I'm fucked." "You're fucked," said Jerry. "I still got my 50 a month." "And your round fat ass," said Grace. "And my round fat ass," said Jerry. Laura and I knew we were fucked. There was no need to say it. We all sat there at the bar attempting to think of a next move. "I wonder," said Jerry, "if I killed him." "Killed him how?" I asked. "By mixing water with his vodka. He always drank it straight. It might have been the water that killed him." "It might have," I said. Then I motioned to the barkeep. "Tony," I said, "will you please serve the plump little lady a vodka and water?" Grace didn't think that was very humorous. I didn't see it happen, but the way I heard it afterwards, Grace left and went to Wilbur's house and started beating on the door, beating and screaming and beating, and the brother, the doctor, came to the door, but he wouldn't let her in. He was bereaved and drugged, and he wouldn't let her in, but Grace wouldn't quit. The doctor didn't know Grace very well. Maybe he should have, for she was a fine fuck, and he went to the phone, and the police came, but she was wild and crazed, and it took 2 of them to put the bracelets on her. They made a mistake and had her hands in front, and she came up and then down with the handcuffs and raked open one of the cop's cheeks, opened him up so that you could look into the side of his head and see his teeth. More cops came and they took Grace away, screaming and kicking, and after that none of us ever saw her or each other again. Chapter 36. Rows and rows of silent bicycles. Bins filled with bicycle parts. Rows and rows of bicycles hanging from the ceiling. Green bikes, red bikes, yellow bikes, purple bikes, blue bikes, girls' bikes, boys' bikes, all hanging up there. The glistening spokes, the wheels, the rubber tires, the paint, the leather seats, taillights, headlights, handbrakes, hundreds of bicycles, row after row. We got an hour for lunch. I'd eat quickly, having been up most of the night and early morning. I'd be tired, aching all over, and I found this secluded spot under the bicycles. I crawled down there, under 3 deep tiers of bicycles immaculately arranged. I lay there on my back, and suspended over me, precisely lined up, hung rows of gleaming silver spokes, wheel rims, black rubber tires, shiny new paint, everything in perfect order. It was grand, correct, orderly. 500 or 600 bicycles stretching out over me, covering me, all in place. Somehow it was meaningful. I'd look up at them and know I had 45 minutes of rest under the bicycle tree. Yet I also knew with another part of me that if I ever let go and dropped into the flow of those shiny new bicycles, I was done, finished, that I'd never be able to make it. So I just lay back and let the wheels and the spokes and the colors soothe me. A man with a hangover should never lay flat on his back, looking up at the roof of a warehouse. The wooden girders finally get to you, and the skylights. You can see the chicken wire in the glass skylights. That wire somehow reminds a man of jail. Then there's the heaviness of the eyes, the longing for just one drink, and then the sound of people moving about. You hear them. You know your hour is up. Somehow you have to get on your feet and walk around and fill and pack orders. Chapter 37. She was the manager's secretary. Her name was Carmen, but despite the Spanish name, she was a blonde, and she wore tight-knitted dresses, high-spiked heels, nylons, garter belt. Her mouth was thick with lipstick, but oh, she could shimmy, she could shake. She wobbled while bringing the orders up to the desk. She wobbled back to the office, all the boys watching every move, every twitch of her buttocks, wobbling, wiggling, wagging. I am not a ladies' man. I never have been. To be a ladies' man, you have to make with the sweet talk. I've never been good at sweet talk. But finally, with Carmen pressing me, I led her into one of the boxcars we were unloading at the rear of the warehouse, and I took her standing up in the back of one of those boxcars. It was good. It was warm. I thought of blue sky and wide, clean beaches, yet it was sad. There was definitely a lack of human feeling that I couldn't understand or deal with. I had that knit dress up around her hips, and I stood there pumping it to her, finally pressing my mouth to her heavy mouth, thick with scarlet lipstick, and I came between two unopened cartons, with the air full of cinders, and with her back pressed against the filthy, splintering boxcar wall in the merciful dark.